Today we're going to show you how much the shaft in your driver impacts performance. I've got Emma with me here in the tour van at Second Swing. We're going to hit a couple different shaft models and shaft flexes and show you through Trackman how much the shaft matters in your driver. Hey golfers, I'm Drew Mahowald of Second Swing Golf, joined by Emma Carpenter here in the tour van at Second Swing Minnetonka. And today we've got a fun one. We're going back to our nitty-gritty fitting insights today, talking about driver shafts. And so we have Emma with us, of course. She's got her driver, and then we've got various shafts back here from the sort of fitting matrix here that we're going to test today. But Emma, the shaft is sometimes overlooked by golfers out there. You hear so much about the club head and the technology, you know, new Titleist GT drivers. You hear about the technology within the club head, but sometimes the shaft is maybe dismissed by players. And so today we're going to find out exactly how much that matters. And I know you've definitely got fit for your driver. You've got that Tour AD DI 6S there, so a premium kind of upgrade type of shaft. So clearly you've been fit for it. So I guess in your experience, how much does that matter, and how do you really like the performance of that one?
Yeah, no, honestly, Drew, it's like the shaft is kind of everything. It's like really the majority of what kind of golf shots you're producing.
Yeah.
I think that same as most people, I came in thinking it was all about what model of head you were using in your driver. I didn't know all that much about shafts until I started getting really fit for clubs by master club fitters.
Yeah.
Larry Bobka,
Yeah, of course,
fit me for my driver, and just made all the difference. So anytime a shot is doing something, it's actually probably a little bit more likely the shaft. The head, I think for me was just kind of like what I liked and like the feel of it, but the shaft is really kind of what produced the golf shot. So yeah, I mean, even over the last few years, I've been using the same head, or maybe just upgraded the head. It's very, very similar, but the only thing that I've really switched up is the shaft. Is when I'm looking for a change. Yeah,
it's funny what a lot of golfers, you know, they might settle on a model for a driver, but really we can see the trajectory change a little bit with the shaft. Maybe one a little higher ball flight, lower ball flight. That's where we're going to see some differences today. So
weight, flex.
Exactly. So this is going to be kind of great. We're going to start by you just hitting a few good ones with your gamer.
Okay.
And then that's going to be sort of our baseline. And then we're going to go into a couple different models. I've got a HZRDUS red, and we're going to have the senior flex and regular flex in here. So this is going to be very light. Very different feeling probably than you're used to. And these are supposed to be designed for kind of that high launch, mid spin sort of profile. Okay.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll go to the Mitsubishi Tensei 1K Black. One just fell off the desk. And this is basically the opposite. A little bit stiffer, going to be a lower launching and more penetrating ball flight, lower spin. So very different. We got stiff and extra stiff here. So we're going to go all across the realm of golf shafts here.
Yeah.
And then you're going to kind of compare those together. I mean, what do you think we're going to see today? Are you excited to do this? How are you feeling about the various different shafts you're about to hit there?
Honestly, I think that we're going to see some serious differences. It's going to really tell the story, the fact that I'm using the driver head that I use. I'm going to have a TSR2 in all of them. So I'm using the Titleist TSR2. I'm just switching off the shaft, and I know that the shots are going to change a lot. I've been using a stiff shaft because I swing the club a little bit faster. But I mean, mine's still pretty light, so I've been using a light stiff shaft is what works best for me. So when we talk about like it being a lot whippier, the different weights, I think that I don't know what the golf ball's gonna do.
Yeah, we've got these first, you know, after your game, or these first couple are going to be in that 50 gram class. They're going to go up to 65 after that. So we're going to have a little bit of a range there. So
okay.
All right, Trackman's up and ready. Are you ready to hit some tee shots?
Let's do it, Drew.
Sweet.
I would say, Drew, driver has been the strength of my golf game always. Honestly, even before I got any good at the sport at all, it was the first thing where I started doing well. The first thing that I started doing well, so got me some attention from.
I mean, in the videos and the testing that we've done, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, that high draw down the middle, you know.
That's nice of you to say.
And you've got good distance, you know, as well. So.
That's nice of you to say. Yeah, it helped me get recruited to play in college. I couldn't score the ball, but the driver helped.
It's a pretty good start there.
Yeah, not bad.
Didn't quite draw back for you, but it's still a totally fine position.
That's something that I noticed actually a lot when I was trying out different shafts and switching up the shaft was, oh, I like the view you just put up there for
Yeah,
me.
I changed that up because this is the sort of generic driving range, but the fairway is so darn wide
Yeah.
that I kind of like to track the, if we're going to talk about hitting fairways, it's a little bit more realistic here.
Oh, you're making it tougher for me.
Which is, even in your area, it's really tiny. So we're gonna challenge you a little bit.
All right.
That was hit well.
That should be pretty good. Maybe a little left.
No, that's great. Yeah, a 1.50 smash factor. That's exactly why that driver is what you play, probably.
Yeah, that was just a pretty good swing overall. It'd be pretty good with any driver, but like that height right at 80 feet.
Yep.
Like it's not too high.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one would just like cut through really nicely.
Any wind, you're not getting that ball lost in, but also it's still at that height and the way you launch the ball too, because you're hitting up on it 7 degrees, which is very, that's how you maximize distance.
Exactly. Well, that's kind of what I've always done, especially with a draw. Like I swing up on it a lot because I want it to carry as far as possible.
Right.
So.
No, that's a good ball right there. Let's get one more with your gamer, and then we'll have sort of that baseline average.
Let's do it.
I will say, we talked about hitting fairways and stuff. I mean, that's as closest to the middle as you can get. So.
Yeah, that was a good one. That felt good.
Oh yeah.
Pushed that one out a little bit, but that one it felt good.
Yeah. So let's hear. We got our map. See, when I went to total, they're all in the fairway. So I mean, look at that.
When you went to total, they're on the.
yeah. See, if I go carry, we got a couple of whatever.
Yeah, throw the total up
but
there.
Total, yeah, we'll keep it that way.
Perfect.
So, so here's and these are good numbers for sort of a baseline, right? We have a 149 smash factor, means you're really efficient with it. 2377, and on the spin is really good. Mid 2000s is typically where our fitters always say is right on the money. It's a pretty good launch angle, and you're hitting up on it really well. 270 on the total. And then I like how consistent things are too, like that plus or minus. Your ball's not, you're not hitting one like 40 feet in the air, then hitting one 97 feet. You're keeping it pretty consistent.
That probably has a lot to do with the shaft, huh?
Yeah. So, and that's where I think things will start to change a little bit, especially if we get into this. We got a senior flex here. That's where that will vary quite a bit. You might get some wonky ones, but pretty good start there.
Pretty good start. All right.
And actually, I'll be surprised if you get one even further and better than this shot right here.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Only 3 shots is not a big sample size. I'm sure if we hit like 20 shots with each one, we'd get a pretty nice little small dispersion for your gamer, and then everything else would be very different. But.
Yeah, I definitely think like an optimal shot is a good basis as well. Like what can you really get out of it?
Right.
Because I bet I can get a lot more out of this shaft than I can, even if I make the best swing ever with a different one.
I mean, I will say, in terms of, here, I think there's actually, let's just see if I can bring this up. We have, where is that optimizer at? And the ball speed, you absolutely maximize the ball speed, right? Because the blue range is optimal, right? And I mean, right here, we can see your total distance. You literally reached the optimal distance of your total.
Right.
So you maximized everything the best you could. So.
Alrighty.
All right, so let's
try something else.
Let's get weird with it here.
Let's get weird with it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. What shaft we got here?
Right, so this is a Project X HZRDUS Red, and then the flex on it. So they have a different kind of system where they have a number. So it's a flex is 5.0. They have 5.0, 5.5, 6.0, and 6.5. 6.5 is your extra stiff. 5.0 is like your light senior flex.
Okay.
So this is a 5.0, and it's a 50-gram class. So this is what my grandpa would play.
Oh.
So to be kind of frank about it. So
Got it. So do you think I'm going to swing this faster because it's lighter and whippier, or do you think?
Yes.
But then the ball's probably going to go so far left.
So that's the thing. People kind of assume sometimes that the lighter and whippier means one direction, like left or right, and it's not necessarily. It kind of depends on how you swing.
Yeah.
So it's more about regardless. I think your dispersion is going to be like this. because of how you swing your other club, but sometimes people go left with a whip your shaft, and sometimes they hang it out to the right. It just depends on how they swing. So.
Gotcha. No, I hit that pretty good.
You already gained some club speed.
Oh, no way.
Right, a little left. And your theory was a little left, which makes sense actually, because
Like just curved more.
so because you're not like, some people if they have a really fast tempo, they bring up the club and they create a bunch of lag
Yeah.
on their way down. You don't have a ton of lag,
Yeah.
and so that club head can actually catch up and even with a really flexible shaft get ahead of where you should be. Whereas with
Yeah.
somebody that has a quick tempo, they might lag behind a ton because the shaft will kind of bend back on them.
Gotcha.
So yeah, if you do air a little left with this, it wouldn't surprise me based on what I'm seeing. Oh, for goodness sakes.
Oh my.
It's funny because it actually hit the screen kind of like right. I mean, you can see how it took off. It took
Yeah.
off kind of dead straight, and then
Yeah,
a little duck hook on you.
I definitely hit that on the bottom part of the club a little bit, so I knew it was gonna be
Okay.
low, but like.
You didn't feel great. Yeah.
I mean, but
I
it
just
didn't. I didn't feel like it was gonna
All right.
curve that much,
Okay.
like from what I'm used to with my other driver.
That one looked like it was a lot better. at least to
Yeah, I
start.
mean.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay,
Look at that one.
that's pretty good.
Yeah. You still didn't get this one.
Yeah.
But that's pretty good.
When I actually swung it like just as fast, if not
Yeah.
just
So
a little bit
you
faster.
did gain some speed here, which makes sense. This is a little bit lighter and flexible.
Drew, explain to the people why you wouldn't just want a shaft that makes you swing it the fastest.
Because of this shot right here.
Wow,
that's-
at my
that's-
expense too.
That is my, I don't know, that's my answer. I mean, I think if we were to extrapolate this and hit, you know what, actually, let's get two more from you.
Okay.
Because we have the baseline, let's get two more.
Well, and it's funny because my other one I was missing.
Because then again, if this goes as I think it might, there might be another shot like this one.
That might be even further left.
No,
No.
that's fine. It hung on.
Jeez.
It's only, let's see,
It's only 100 feet left.
you're just left of the bunker over here. That's fine. All right, let's get one
fine.
more. You're starting to see a little bit now as to why I thought, why maybe just the lightest and fastest shaft isn't the best.
Yeah. All right. Now, see, I was trying to not get that to go left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is good actually. So it might not feel good to you because of what this big circle looks like, but so that was our dispersion. We see a large orange oval.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see the numbers here too. So you did swing this one faster. We have actually a little lower spin. I think that's probably because of this
The left miss,
Those
yeah.
they dive out of the sky a little bit. But look at the consistency numbers here. So like your carry varied a ton, right? That plus or minus on average, it's got the deviation of it, so
Yeah.
about 13 yards versus, your average deviation was 3.5. So, yeah, then your height, you actually were hitting it lower because
Why
those
was I
left
hitting
ones.
it lower? Oh, because the left ones, right?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of the shaft was almost turning the club head over
Yeah.
for you as you were
It's just
swinging down on it. Yeah, so that's yeah. I mean that makes a lot of sense to see that dispersion blow up like that. You did hit two pretty darn good ones here,
Yeah.
actually.
Well-
Which isn't that's the thing about a lighter shaft is if you hit and you connect and
You time
sometimes
it
the
up.
timing just
Yeah.
works right, you can hit some really good shots.
right.
But you have to be so much more precise with it if the shaft is not quite fit for you. And then if you're not, the timing's a little off, this is what happens. You get these.
Yikes.
So, all right.
Yikes,
go to
yikes,
the next one
yikes.
here.
All right, next one. Next one. This one, what you call the grandpa shaft, but not my favorite.
Yeah, we'll see. This one might not be a humongous difference just because it's going to be the same shaft, but we're going to change the flex. It's going to be a little stiffer. We're going to go from the senior flex to the regular flex. So. Oh yeah, look at that one.
Wow, that felt good.
Yeah. See,
Nice.
these shots should be, I think,
It feels
should be a little better than the last one.
It is, and I could be way off, just like my own observation. I felt like so in the whole swing that like my balance was better. Like
It's not, hey, sometimes that happens. You
when
know?
I had it like whippy, it was like whipping, and I was like,
Yeah, I mean,
losing balance. I don't know what it was.
any feedback is valid here.
Yeah, but they
on the
say
field.
that actually a sign that something is too heavy for you is if you lose balance. So like
That's fair.
So I don't know if that's necessarily right. That might have just been me trying really
Well, you know,
hard.
it's just it's a result of how you were swinging the club. You know.
Yeah. I didn't catch that awesome, but it should go
Okay.
like pretty straight.
Ooh,
Not
turned
really.
over a little bit. Not like as bad as a couple of those other ones though.
Yeah.
With the lighter flex.
Yeah, like that was definitely a similar swing.
Was this a toe shot?
No, this was just kind of like low on the face.
Okay.
So
yeah, the spin went up a little bit. That's probably part of it.
this was actually very similar swing to the last shaft where it missed really left, where I was like, I kind of hit it on the bottom.
Okay.
But it hooked a lot more. That's like same thing, just a little bit low.
Yeah, starting to leak a little bit, but
Yeah.
again, it's like that left is sort of, we're shifting it over a little closer to the fairway.
I'm swinging this one even faster.
Okay.
Little
That that might be your farthest one so far, for what it's worth. Not quite. This one did end up going a little farther.
Huh.
Wow. Hey, pretty good, all things considered here.
Not bad.
So before we dive into the numbers here, I just wanted to get your feedback on the feel of that shaft model. Both you hit the same shaft model, just different flexes. What do you think of that?
I mean,
the next one
it
you're gonna hit is gonna
definitely,
be very different.
yeah, it felt way more comfortable. Like, I felt like I had a better, like I felt like I had a better grasp on just like my golf swing and like what
Yeah.
the ball was gonna do.
With that one.
With this one, the whippier one, it was just a little bit more like a hit and hope kind of situation.
Yeah, and that's a good way to describe it. It's to me, I always when I swing kind of really light and flexible shafts, it's almost like I can't feel where the club head is.
Yeah.
So here I'll bring up. Dispersion definitely got smaller, not as small as your gamer, but definitely got smaller.
Yeah.
And your misses were not as bad, which is kind of the idea here.
Yeah, they're still pretty darn bad, but what are the biggest differences between this one and my gamer?
So that one's going to be a lot higher launching and higher spinning in theory.
Yeah, well, my first
and-
one launched high, but then I just hit a couple low on the face, so that's why they went low. But
Yeah, so yeah, and we did end up, because of this, I think really we take this one out and things change a little bit in your favor in terms of the launch and spin and everything. But it's a time, that's the thing, is the shaft is kind of a timing mechanism more than anything.
Right.
So it's the way you swing between your speed and your tempo. The timing is much better with this one because it's a little bit stiffer, and it allows your timing to time up better at the impact versus the previous one.
yeah,
So that's ultimately what we're seeing here today. Is like right now we already know with these three, we know your gamer is the best one. It has the smallest dispersion. Granted, we hit 3 shots, but we have seen things shrink already as we get closer to a shaft that is matching your gamer. So
right.
I wanted to get these two in quick because this shaft is a completely different model now.
Okay.
So this is going to be a low launch, low spin. You're going to feel it. It's going to be a very, very different one compared to what you just hit. So we'll try this one. Yeah, I'm going to be curious to see how this goes here. You might drop a little bit in the club speed, and I would imagine too, the shots you hit well will launch a little lower and probably fly a little lower.
Yeah, well, and it's like I think a really, really common miss with a shaft that's too heavy with all clubs is like kind of that exact shot.
Yeah, okay.
Like, you don't have enough speed to like turn it over.
See, that matches what we saw then with the shafts that were too light and flexible. You were
Right.
going left. Maybe this will hang a little bit right now.
Oh, that was actually pretty good.
That one looked really good off the club here. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
See, we got to be careful.
That's the straightest one I think so far.
Well, that's something that makes sense too, right? Like lighter, whippier, it's gonna curve more. The heavier, stiffer is
this
gonna.
is all again. This is all it's exactly what we think is happening. Because I'm also paying attention to your club speed numbers and everything, and it's dropping a little bit.
Oh my gosh!
So what happened there?
It was.
We got the face angle open 6 degrees.
I swear it was like. I swear it was just because it felt like really heavy. It was like my body was in front and like the club was still here, and I was like, get it through.
So you kind of feel like you have to work a little harder to get the club head to match up a little bit, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Okay. Just because it's heavier, it's stiffer, like the club isn't doing as much work for you.
So you're definitely feeling a pretty stark difference between that model and then these two that you already hit.
Way different.
Look at that. See, the spin's down too. That's good.
Man, well, and you know what was kind of funny about that? Like, I honestly almost felt like that was going to hook.
Did you?
Like, I actually did.
Was it a little towards the toe maybe on contact?
Yeah, that could have been why.
Those toe shots, if that's kind of the money spot on a driver nowadays, is if you hit it slightly towards the toe, it actually works out really well.
Yeah.
All right, let's get one more. I think I have this dispersion. This is looking pretty good right now.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe how.
Hey, okay, this is fine though.
I can't believe how much harder it is.
Please keep in mind that this is not the shaft that you play. So.
And a master club fitter would never hand this to me. That's the funny thing.
I think that's what we're finding out. Yes. So the club speed went down because it's heavier. Makes sense. So the ball speed went down. You actually were pretty much as efficient as you have been.
That's shocking. That's actually shocking.
You're still making good contact for the most part, or as good a contact, but we saw things change. I mean, really the big difference is, the timing thing is off now the other way, right? So the timing with your club is as good as it's going to be, where we've got, right down again, still the straightest shot of the day is the one you hit with your driver.
Right.
And then we've got these two over here that are hanging onto the fairway. But where the timing was off with the lighter shafts, the timing resulted in this kind of left tendency. You had a couple over here that hung out to the right with the regular flex, but now this is a stiff flex 65 gram, a little heavier, a little kind of firmer, if you will, and the result is you're hanging it out over here now.
Yeah.
So that club face doesn't quite get turned back over on this side of things.
I think what's so crazy is that all of these golf shots were hit with the club head that I'm playing right now, and yet like those ones way left, those ones way right, like I've not hit a shot like that in a really long time. So it's like the fact that I'm looking down at my club head and I'm hitting that shot, it just like shows that the shaft makes such a big difference.
I think I like too the fact there's a confidence level that you just have in your setup.
Yeah.
You just go up and hit, and these far right and far left possibilities are not even in your brain.
Exactly.
And I hope I don't change that now by having you do this here with a different shaft, and then you go on the course and you remember those. But all right, we'll do the extra stiff shaft of that, and then we'll wrap up here and we'll tell the whole story.
Okay. So, do you have any predictions?
I think I would imagine things will will continue to kind of go right, maybe a little bit lower, similar to what we saw with the last one.
What the heck? That didn't even feel like that bad of a golf swing. Yeah.
It's out to the right.
I've never used an extra stiff shaft before. I have stiff shafts in all my clubs, but
so this
is my irons and my driver. But
this is actually this is showing a little more than I thought it would actually. These results are going to be almost too good, in the sense of it's showing way too good of a picture.
You thought I could figure out?
It's way too clear of a picture. Yeah.
You thought I could figure out how to hit the ball straight still. Well, the funny thing is like with each club, I managed to get like one or two of them like still straight, but it's like the misses is what we're looking at.
Right, exactly.
What?
That's the same exact shot.
It's a.
You know what?
Are you kidding me?
Let's just keep going because I want to see how tight this dispersion gets way over here on the right with the green.
You are. Oh man. Okay, come on. Well, it's funny because it's like I swear like the swing doesn't feel that bad, and I'm watching it just start right.
I can see a little correction on that swing. This is good. This is good.
Oh my gosh.
I believe that you can hit a fairway here.
Thank you, Drew. What on earth? Wait, this is heavy too, right?
Yeah.
65 extra
So
stiff.
it's pretty much the same shaft. It's a same shaft model and basically the same weight as the last one. This is just stiffer. Is that going to draw back, or is it even going to fade some?
No, there's no.
All right, hey, we got one more chance to hit a fairway with this one.
Alrighty.
This, I think, so far is taking the cake for biggest dispersion. Ooh,
There we go.
that might be the winner.
Come on.
Oh yeah.
All right.
All right, we got some sweet numbers here now to look at.
Oh man.
Look at that. Perfect. You just have one over here. You got these over here. And
I can't swing it nearly as fast. It goes down like
Yeah.
3-4 miles an hour.
Yeah. And then again, you've been this is several driver swings here, but this is kind of the microcosm of what a fitting looks like in terms of, at this point in a club fitting, you have decided, hypothetically, hey, this is the driver head I want. Now we're going to hit some shafts. And then you got to paint this little picture up here, this abstract painting of ovals and dots and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, in a fitting, Larry probably would have watched me hit one of those balls and been like, yep, nope, that's not the one.
Larry does that. He's done that with me too. It's like, nope, that's not the one.
That's not the one. He knows right away.
Very quickly, we see the speed go down again because it's a heavier and kind of stiffer shaft. Look at how much your carry dropped here. You were in the 240s before. Your gamer was the highest carry at 243. And then actually was the highest total as well at 270. Now you're down to 225, 257.
Well, and that's with like a right miss. Like a lot of times a right miss, it's not going to roll much at all, but it'll carry further than a left miss usually.
Yeah.
If you have like a diving left miss, it's not going to carry anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's going to just keep on rolling forward and further left. Yeah. So obviously that way left miss with the super whippy shaft is why that carry dropped. But then like when a club is super heavy for me and extra stiff, it's just like I literally can't like get it to turn over.
Yep.
And when I tried to force it, that didn't go well either.
Yeah, I mean, so it's kind of cool that the way this worked out, actually, I didn't actually expect this, was for literally the best drive of the day to be with your gamer. You could argue this one.
That's hitting like a ton of them.
Yeah, and we hit a ton of shots. And I figured, I mean, you swing the club good enough where I thought we might get a few that might surpass up here. But both the best swing of the day was with your gamer, and obviously we took a look at the numbers. Everything averaged out to be the best as well.
Yeah.
So we kind of see then, this is, and some of this is maybe a bit, I don't want to say extreme, but you swing faster than the average golfer, and so those misses are going to be a little bit exaggerated. But the average golfer can see, by watching this, all we did was change the shaft, both a couple different models, a couple different flexes and the weights, and mixed them up, and we saw things change quite a bit.
Yeah. So question for you, aside from just club speed,
Yeah.
what else factors into what shaft you should use? Why do you think that this shaft specifically is good for me? Does like swing direction also play a factor? Like if you hit draws, if you hit fades, like what else makes a difference?
Yeah, so there's the shaft is kind of built into three, there's the tip section, there's the butt section, and there's the mid section in the shaft, and they're built with different widths between, they have like the carbon fiber materials, there's different materials that different brands use, but they make it thicker and thinner in different spots, and that's kind of how that dictates how the shaft will either bend or flex throughout the swing. And ultimately, then I mentioned it kind of creates a timing mechanism. So it's not just about speed, it's about your tempo. So if you were to come up and just do a quick, try to think like John Rahm, very quick tempo. He transitions really quick from backswing to downswing. And so he needs something really, really stiff versus maybe Ernie Els, nice and smooth. Freddie Couples, they might use regular flex for all I know.
Right.
So there's all that goes into play. And then plus, it's also just what kind of ball flight you want. Maybe
Right.
you want to hit the ball high.
Right.
You know, maybe you want it to be really low penetrating flight. That stuff matters too. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that go into it. You've obviously found something that works. But it's important to make sure that the weight, the shaft flex, and the model as well, and the way they're constructed fit your swing, which yours does. None of these really do. I would say the closest one was the HZRDUS Red in the 50-gram regular.
Yeah.
But even then, we had a couple misses that you didn't like. So
Yeah, well, I mean, it's really interesting to see. When I told you before we started that the driver has been the strength of my game.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's all due to picking the right combination of the shaft and the head. That's what's plays a big part of it. Like, no matter how good your golf swing is, if you have the shaft that's completely wrong for you, you could probably still hit some good shots, but not nearly as consistently.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you hit a ton. I mean, you look up there. There's a lot of dots in the fairway, but then there's also just a wide range. You got one on the next fairway over on the right. So, yeah. Well, golfers, schedule a fitting. Be like Emma and get with one of our master fitters. Get yourself dialed in off the tee with the right driver shaft for your driver, and make sure you're hitting the best tee shots you possibly can. So, Emma, thank you for joining today. That was fantastic.